But what are you telling me? That a Barça fan from Mexico, Peru, Venezuela, El Salvador, the United States, China, or Japan is less of a Barça fan than someone from Catalonia? But what is this method of discriminating against people, really? What does family mean? They sent me this video of this boy, a Polish boy who was visiting Camp Nou for the first time, and this was his reaction. Incredible. The boy enters the stadium, walks down the stairs toward the field, and when he sees the stadium, he's so overwhelmed that all he can do is cry. It's something that's a feeling. It's a way of life. That boy, 25 years ago, was me. And surely many of you from any corner of the world would do the same when you visit the Blaugrana temple. Why am I talking about this? About what happened with this boy? Because there are candidates for the presidency of Barcelona who are running to be president, to be the representative, not only of the club members, who, yes, during the election campaign want to win the vote, the signature of the members at all costs. But Barcelona is much more than a club. It's much more than a club because Barça overcomes all kinds of barriers. Barça is universal. It's a global brand. It's a brand that brings together people, nationalities from all countries around the world. And Football Club Barcelona, of course, belongs to its members, but it has a broad social majority, a broad majority outside of Catalonia. And why do I say this? Because no candidate should discriminate against anyone. And from my point of view, I'm from Huelva. I'm from the south of Spain. I'm not from Barcelona or Catalonia. I'm not a Barça member. As of today, I'm a supporter club member. And I find it very unfortunate, or rather very unfortunate statements. In plural, the arguments and explanations being given by Marc and Victor Font. About the topic of tourists, when people talk about tourists in that tone, it makes my blood boil, and surely yours too. And I want everyone at home to hear me, because I don't consider myself, nor am I, a second-class fan just because I'm not a member, or because I don't belong to Catalonia. I'm Andalusian, I'm from Huelva, I'm from Bolulos Par del Condado, just like many other people. You can be from Peru, from Venezuela, from Australia, from Asia, from China, from Hong Kong, from wherever you want. We are citizens of the world. Barça is a huge brand. Més que un club means much more. It means that Barça is universal. A Barça that is loved and cherished all over the world. And I repeat, as an Andalusian, I feel just as much or even more of a Barça fan than someone who could be from Barcelona. And this should be a reason to be proud. If I were from Barcelona and had been a lifelong Barça member, I would be filled with pride if someone from Valladolid, from Andalusia, from Venezuela, from Puerto Rico, from Bolivia, from China, from anywhere, was a Barça fan and came to Barcelona. They make an investment in expenses, in travel, in flights, in hotels, in food, in paying for a ticket, in ticketing. Gentlemen candidates. Ticketing is one of the club's biggest sources of income. How can you treat the culé from outside so badly? Why do you have to discriminate? Why do you have to send them to the third tier, as Omar said? Seriously? Why? Why does it hurt so much? Why do you talk so much about members when the Barça members, the vast majority of them, not all? Because there are some who have been very loyal to this badge, but the vast majority have abandoned Barça in these tough years. And on their trip to Montjuic, they've stayed home by the heater, warm and not gone up the mountain. A mountain that many, like me, have climbed and have cheered. For Barça in Montjuic, where were those Barça members? That's why we shouldn't have that divisive, hateful rhetoric. I'm not buying it. I'm with Laporta and I'm with the people who contribute foreign to Barça. And with this, I want to say that I feel discriminated against. I feel left out. And I want to say something to closed-minded people, to the hardliners. I'm speaking very clearly to you. I'm from Huelva. I've been working on the internet for 5 years, on social media. I've created a project called Barça Hoy from scratch. As of today, we have almost 1 million Barça fans from all over the world across all platforms. And here on YouTube, we're close to 500,000. We're not better than anyone, but with our work from the outside, without help, without being connected to the club, we've managed to achieve incredible numbers. We're the most watched Barça fan channel in the world during Barça matches, with the club's sports commentary. We're a channel that's currently ahead of the major media outlets and voices in this country. Cadena Ser, Cadena Cope, we're above and competing alongside giants on YouTube, ahead of them. It's a huge source of pride because Gerard Romero is #1 for me. And we're on YouTube ahead of Gerard Romero, ahead of giants. It's something spectacular. There's only one channel that's ahead of us, which is El Chiringuito Insight. What do I mean by this? That we've built a huge community of people from Catalonia, people who are Barça members and people who aren't. Because of this, I've been able to see during this time the number of Barça fans around the world, from countries that represent Barça everywhere. And you're going to tell us that these people who follow me, who watch us, who are with us on this journey, don't deserve to go to Camp Nou and sit wherever they want, as long as they pay for their ticket. Of course, the club member should have preference and should have a season ticket and should have services that give them an advantage over those who are not members. It's easy to talk when you have a season ticket. The situation that I found myself in Laporta was dramatic, catastrophic, a ruined Barça. And you want to freeze and lower the season tickets for the members, and you want to keep tourists out so that the stadium isn't full of tourists. The tourists are the ones who have kept the club going these past years, paying for very expensive tickets, buying merchandise like this one I'm wearing, 200 euros for a Spanish Super Cup jersey. Or the Efremin, the first kit I bought this year on my visit. What does each Barcelona trip cost me? Luckily, in the last 2 cases, the sponsors invited me, but I've also paid for my ticket when I had to go. And I've paid for a plane ticket, and I've paid for a hotel, and I've paid for food, and I've paid for accommodation, and I've paid for many things. Don't mistreat outsiders. I've learned Catalan. I understand Catalan perfectly. I understand the club's sense of belonging. That's not up for debate. I understand the politics, the culture of the club. I respect it, I admire it, I love it, but don't treat me badly. Don't treat me like a second-class fan. Don't treat me like a digital media outlet that works day in and day out for Barça, as if we were second class. Just because we're not there, don't treat me like that, because I'm just as much or even more than the ones who are there. Just as much or even more than the ones who are there. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way about what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking you to like, share, and write to me in the comments. What do you think? What are your thoughts about these groups opposing President Joan Laporta, which are dividing Barça fans? Because elections are very important, but you shouldn't win votes at any cost. Discrimination against people is something terrible. And if you send someone who isn't a member to sit far away, you're discriminating against them. In a very ugly way, a very ugly way. Don't forget that to revive this club, you need people who pay a lot of money. And the people coming from outside are paying it. There are people who spend their savings traveling to Barcelona to see Barça, the club they love. This isn't easy. And of course, everything is extremely expensive. And we would love for the season ticket to be cheaper, for tickets for a Barça family to be more affordable. Of course, I'm against that, and surely President Laporta is too. But the thing is, they've left such a huge mess that we have to pay. We have to pay to keep going. If things aren't paid for, the club doesn't work. So let's not try to divide or throw around these kinds of arguments that are so unethical and so invalid nowadays. It really hurts us. For those of us who are from outside, for the Barça fans who are from outside, for the people who work every day for the club who are from outside. Enough of treating us like fools. Enough of offering us respect. And enough of treating us like just fans, or in my case, as digital media. That we work for the club as second class, that they don't pay attention to us, that they don't give us accreditation, even though we have numbers that are there, that everyone can see. So my message for anyone who wants to take it, here it is. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Respect the Barça fan, respect them, because if you don't respect them, you're making a mistake. Long live Barça, and long live Catalonia, and long live Huelva, and long live everyone. Barça is more than a club, right? Well, let's prove it.